I did 248 groups of 6. How did you get the 1,308? How did you get that?
Not bad at all, and we know that it's sometimes not easy to share our ideas for our strategies. And so especially being the first people in our class to ever have to share their ideas while the rest of the class is watching can be quite tricky. But there were a couple of interesting things. Did we have any questions?
No.
Not a lot. There was a couple, but there wasn't many. One thing I was quite surprised at, I was very surprised to see that their group, Anna got up to 1,500 by doing her tidy numbers. And that was awesome. She used the tidy numbers from 248, added the 2, got the 6, 250s, got up to 1,500. Then she got a little bit stuck. She knew that she had to take away 12 because she had added on 12 to get to the 250s. But Anna thought that 1,500 minus 12 equaled 1,388. And nobody in her group knew that she was wrong. I suspect that a couple of the people might have known she was wrong, and Quinton certainly asked a question about it, which made me think, sounds like Quinton is thinking that she might have got a little bit stuck there. But then Quinton just said, how did you get that answer? And Anna explained it, and then that was it. And nobody actually said, I think that answer might be wrong. And I'm sure that those people knew that 1,500 minus 12 probably isn't 1,388. Because this is taken off 112. So it's close, we just took off one digit too many. And what that means is, Anna's sitting here, explaining how she's going. She gets up to one part where she gets a little bit stuck. She's done really well to get to where she is. But then she's just sort of wandered off the path a little bit. She's just got a little bit lost in the forest of maths. And instead of her mates in her group running into the forest and grabbing her and getting her back on the path, they just left her out there, man. So what we really need to focus on is if you think that someone isn't right, and I suspect Quinton knew that it wasn't quite right, maybe we just need to share that in the same way that Julia did. Monty, Julia told you that she thought that you might have got a little bit stuck and got a little bit wrong. Was there anything wrong with that? Was there anything wrong with her telling you that?
Yeah.
What was wrong with it? What? So it was okay for her to tell you that you got a little bit stuck. When she mentioned it, could you see where you'd gone a little bit wrong? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So if we're going a little bit wrong, we want people to tell us, right? We don't want to just keep going down the wrong path or go off the path in the forest and just end up getting lost. We want our friends in our group to pull us back on track and keep it going a bit. Now, I really liked a couple of the comments there. I liked Julia's comment about Quinton's one. One of the main reasons I liked it was that Julia said, I like Quinton's because it was a tidy number. And when we come back to our success criteria up here, we are talking about using tidy numbers. Speaking of the success criteria, did we see people solving the problem?
Yes.
Absolutely. Did we see people explaining their thinking?
Yes.
Absolutely. Did we see people use tidy numbers?
Yes.
We did see some of them. Did we see people naming the strategy?
No. Yes.
We didn't see the people naming the strategy when they were explaining it, but we certainly heard Julia point out that one of the strategies was tidy numbers. So there was a little bit of that going on in their group. Did we see people using and explaining equipment?
Yes.
Alright, now, did it take the people quite a while to be able to use the equipment?
Yes.
I think that's a bit of learning for me. I think I probably need to have these things better organised in bags or something so that we don't waste so much of our time. All in all though, I think that was wonderful. I think that was really, really good work. I would definitely like to see a little bit more questioning and a little bit more discussing. And certainly, when it comes time to decide which strategy we're going to share with the class, this is not good enough. We don't just point at the person and just leave it at that. You have to say why. You have to say whose strategy you think and why. And it might not be their exact strategy. For example, Monty's strategy was awesome. Monty's just doing the whole 248. He knew that he had 6 248s. Which is awesome. Because if you don't understand what you're doing, if you don't understand the problem, then you're definitely not going to be able to get the solution, right? So he knew that, and he knew that if he added 2 onto each one, he could get up to 250. Again, up until now, absolutely perfect. Nothing wrong with that at all. Perfect. And then he's done his equals thing. And then he's done 250. Now, as Julia pointed out, this is the part where he started to get a little bit lost. So, if the group had thought, I like Monty's system, I like it up until now, and personally I do like this system. Who can understand this so far? Who understands what was happening here? Yeah, absolutely. It's pretty easy to get, right? And so I like this one. But then Monty started to do these ones. He got up to here, and he went, alright, my 250s, alright, I've got to add these up. And then he started going for the old algorithm, you know, he goes zeros, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Okay, I think the 3 goes there and I carry, oh, I can't remember. And he got a little bit stuck with what to carry and what not to carry. Now, the group still could have used this strategy. The group could have gone, let's do Monty's strategy up until here. Up until here, Monty's strategy is perfect. Let's use that. But then when we explain it to the class, instead of adding it up with an algorithm, let's use some of our basic facts. How many 250s do we need to get to 1,000? How many 250s would I use to get up to 1,000? What do you think, Gia? Just up to 1,000. How many? Yeah, 4, absolutely. So if I go 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've got these 4 here that equal 1,000. Then I've got these 2 here. How much do those 2 equal?
500.
Absolutely. Then I've got 1,500. And then I know I need to minus the 12. See, so your group doesn't need to use just one person's strategy. If one person's got some good ideas, use their good ideas. And then another person's got some good ideas, we'll use their good ideas as well. We don't need to just stick with one strategy. Is anybody ever going to always get this right?
No.
Absolutely not. Do we expect anybody to get it right?
No.
Not every time. So what we really need to focus on is getting it right together as a group. Okay, I'm going to get you into your groups now, and we're going to start sharing.